The question is, what is the saddest book that you've written?
Well, quite a lot of them are sad, really, but the saddest, I suppose, would be a book I did called Private Peaceful, which is the story of a soldier in the First World War, two brothers who leave the farm they're working on, near where I live in Devon, down in the southwest of England, and they go across the sea to fight in this terrible war, in the First World War. And you may know about it. You may know that these armies, in the 1914-18 Great War, as they called it, fought in trenches. And there were millions, I mean millions of soldiers on both sides. So there was our side, that was the French and the Belgians and ourselves and Canadians and all sorts of people from all over the world fighting against the other side, who were the Germans and their allies. And because these armies were so strong, they came together like this. And they couldn't defeat each other. They couldn't go forward, and they didn't want to go back. So they did the only thing they could do. They dug into the ground. And their little trench holes became long trenches that stretched all the way from Switzerland to the English Channel. 400 miles of trenches. And then these armies sat there for over 4 years and shelled each other and shot at each other. Millions of soldiers died, millions of them. Now, some soldiers were so upset by it, so shocked by it, that they couldn't go on anymore, and they ran away. And if they were caught, they were tried, a very short trial, and some of them were shot. There were over 300 soldiers on our side only who were shot for cowardice or desertion. 2 of them were shot because they fell asleep on sentry duty, if you please. Well, I was so upset when I heard that I thought I want to write a story about one of those soldiers and one of these 2 brothers who goes across to fight in this war. They're both Private Peaceful, they're both brothers, but one of them suffers that fate, and it was the saddest thing I ever wrote, I think.
Thank you for that, Michael. And we have another question, which is also from Pitcairn Primary in Perth and Kinross, and we've had a preview of the brand new book about an elephant and other animals there at that zoo. Why are most of your books, is that true, most of them about animals?
I've never counted, but I think there are a lot of them, certainly. And it's really simple. I told you I look around me. I listen when I'm inventing my stories, getting ideas from my stories. I live on a farm. I am surrounded by 120 cows, 500 sheep, horses, donkeys, ducks, chickens, geese. And we always used to have cats and dogs and that. So there are animals everywhere. And I have to say to you, I'm not particularly fond of animals. What interests me is how people get on with animals and animals get on with people. That's what really fascinates me. So for instance, when I wrote this book, War Horse, which is a story of a horse that goes to the First World War, what interested me was not necessarily the horse, but how the horse is looked after, or the opposite of being looked after, is treated badly by either the British or the Germans or the French, whoever hands he falls into. So it is the relationship between animals and us, and how, I don't know if you've noticed this, but old people very often really love to be able to stroke a cat or a dog. It gives them reassurance. Young people, very, very small children, just love to feel them, love to look in the eyes of them. I think there's a really close relationship between us and the animals that share this world with us, and that's really one of the reasons I write a lot about animals.